Shine, the name is Law Nation. Without hesitations nor deviations to the matter, be sure to hit that like button, share this content, let that friend, that neighbor know where to go when it's time to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond.
5 things to tell people about what to expect from a Law Nation live stream. Unfiltered Cowboys coverage. Expect raw, real-time breakdowns of Dallas Cowboys news, games, and rumors. No sugarcoating, just straight football talk. Interactive fan engagement law reads live comments, answers questions, and gives fans a voice, whether it's super chats, hot takes, or live call-ins. Film sessions and play analysis. Get educated with all 22 film breakdowns, game recaps, and play-by-play analysis that dives deeper than mainstream media.
Come on with it.
Special guests and collabs. From NFL insiders to Cowboys legends, you never
5,
know when to hop in.
4,
Law keeps it fresh
3,
with surprise appearances
2,
cross-platform creators.
and
Vibes, humor, and truth bombs.
come on with
It's
it.
not just info, it's entertainment. Expect jokes, sound effects, memes, and moments that'll make you laugh, think, and rep the star player.
And 1. Come on. Ain't no party like a cowboy party. Ain't no party like a Law Nation party. Come on with it, baby. Appreciate everybody, man, for tuning in to this episode. A way too early prediction of the 53-man roster. And shout out to the website, I believe, Blogging the Boys, who came up with this article on the roster prediction, and we're going to go over that, but I want the room to fill up just a little bit more before we get into the skinny of the details of everything. Shout out to you, David Woods. Shout out to you, Megan, not the Stallion, but Singleton. Appreciate you. C. Bass, appreciate you. Sadiq, thank you. And Cliff and them, I see y'all. And everyone, I hope that you guys are having a fantastic Saturday, the day before Father's Day, when we get that Brute cologne and draws and ties and lawnmowers and maybe some grills. I appreciate that, but I thank you guys for all that you guys do. Marcus, thank you for jumping in. With all of that being said, let's do this first. Let's talk about the reason why I have Parsons on the thumbnail. Now, granted, if I'm a betting man, he made the team, right? Oh, look how we starting off. Look how we starting off, man.
Stephen Carroll, $49.99.
Yeah.
Let's start this off right, showing love and Oxnard funds.
Oxnard Fun. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, Stephen Carroll. Thank you for pledging that $49.99 for your mind. I thank you so much for your support and your love and adulations. Shout out to you, man. Y'all before we get onto this small sample size of food, and the reason why I'm talking about Parsons, of course, he's making the 53-man roster. But before we go any further into this, shout out to Stephen Carroll. Put SC in the chat if y'all can. If y'all can put an S and a C in the chat. We don't even have 100 folks in here yet, and he's already dropping $49.99 for your mind. I really appreciate you. And also, I see you, Joseph. Good morning and good afternoon and good evening to you all the way in San Antonio, Texas, man. Appreciate you, man.
Some people like to take their time more than others,
Can y'all hear that? Yeah, let me know if y'all can hear audio. Let me know if the audio is straight. Put 11 in the chat if the audio is straight, because that is Parsons that we finna talk about.
Some people like to take their time more than others, Can't rush the process. He wants the deal to go as cleanly as possible. I want the deal to go as clear as possible. So it's just about getting it done as cleanly and quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons talking about the contract negotiations. That was during his appearance at minicamp. He's entering the final year of his rookie deal, 5th-year option, $24 million. Look, this could be done very easily. They've already managed to kick the can through year 4. And one of the hidden benefits for NFL teams, if you have a great player that you picked in round 1, you've got the 5th-year option. If you can get through year 4, where what the guy gets is peanuts in comparison to his value, like Micah Parsons played last year for $3 million. If you can get that guy to play for that 4th year, whatever you pay him later, you're never, ever making up the gap.
He right. You ain't gonna never get that $3 million back. You know what I'm saying? Far as a payment for Parsons now. And that's the cold hard truth, ladies and gentlemen. The reality of it is when you find a good one, you keep it. That's a good thing to have. It's good problems to have, right? And it goes all the way back to, like, what else do you want from him, right? It goes all the way back to what we said even before the draft and everything. The mystery box. You know what you got out of Parsons. You know what you're going to get. Let me just bring in Peter just for those who don't understand.
Hold on. You have a choice. You can have the boat or the mystery box.
What, are you crazy? We'll take the boat.
No, not so fast, Lois. A boat's a boat, but the mystery box could be anything.
It can be anything.
It could even be a boat. You know how much we've wanted one of those.
Then let's just...
We'll take the box.
We'll take the box. You gave up a boat for free tickets to a crappy comedy club.
Yeah, so in reality, Parsons is the actual boat. We don't have to recreate the wheel here, right? It is the reality of it, Cowboy Nation, is that he is the absolute boat of this situation.
The difference that you enjoyed by getting that guy for 3. The Vikings got Justin Jefferson for 3 or 4 in year 4. The Bengals got Jamar Chase for $5 million in year 4. That's kind of the thing that no one ever really talks about. But they got incredible value last year for Micah Parsons. The Bengals got incredible value last year for Jamar Chase because they were able to defer until year 5 that long-term deal.
And so you're saying, because I agree,
Yep.
I agree. That is, if you can get the player to agree to it, that everything else is gravy. So since you were able to take advantage of that value, do you think you come back and give them a monstrous record-setting contract to kind of make up for what you got away with? I'll say it that way, too. What you got away with in year 4?
Most certainly. You contextualize the fact that, hey, the Cowboys with Parsons, you hit gold. You hit gold with them. The only other option would be, and granted, this is the off season, the only other option would be is for you to do the craziest of the craziest thing, and that is to trade them. And we ain't trying to have those type of built-in problems there, Cowboy Nation. We are not trying to do that at all. We're not. It's better to have it, right? Or they say it's better to need it and not have it than to have it and not need it, right? And we on the parts of it that we have it. And we got a guy that can give you multitudes of double-digit sacks every season he's been here. So the Cowboys, Jerry, just pay the man, get this thing out the way.
Of the deal?
Well, but some of these folks that get away with that decide they want to try to get away with it again. You know, the Cowboys
Can't get away with it twice. No way.
They can sidle up to the player and throw the arm around his shoulders and convince him of all the other money he's going to make while being a member of the Dallas Cowboys. And they try it over and over again, and it never works. They tried it with Ezekiel Elliott. It didn't work. They tried it with Dak Prescott. It didn't work. And they delay and they delay and they delay, and they paint themselves into a corner. They did that twice with Dak Prescott. The reason Dak Prescott's making $60 million a year is because they waited too long to sign him the first time. They waited too long to sign him the second time. What do they do with Micah Parsons? They're waiting too long. And in their same state, the Texans, what did they do with Derek Stingley Jr. after 3 seasons? They didn't try to kick the can through year 4. Boom! They got it done. They paid him because the Texans and Nick Caserio understand it's never going to get cheaper than it is right now. The moment the window opens on signing a player that you have convinced yourself is going to be a great player based upon 3 years of service, the moment you pounce and sign him, it's always going to be as cheap then as it will ever be. It's only going to get more expensive if you wait. And the Cowboys have seen that play out for themselves over and over again, and they still haven't learned from it. Or they prefer to be the team that everybody's talking about as it relates to whether or not they're going to sign Micah Parsons and when.
The window is now, Cowboy Nation. All right, so not to beat the old drum up and continue to beat this horse down the street as well, beating a dead horse. We all know, go ahead and pay the man, right? All right, so with that being said, I know most of you guys came here not to hear about Parsons, but for those, I think we got enough people in the room now. We can go over the 53-man roster. And appreciate you, Elijah. Thank you so much. James, thank you as well. Thank both of you guys for the Cash App. I really appreciate you guys. And shout out to you, Oak Cliff Rockefeller. Appreciate you, Law and Cowboys Nation. Y'all see the picture of Hooker vaping, at the Star in LR. I don't know. Who's LR? But, let the man vape in peace. Yes, indeed. That's not the only thing that some of these players do, by the way. And I know, Oak Cliff, I know you ain't snitching. I'm just messing with you, dog. But neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. Cowboys, let's talk about this part of it. Let's go all the way down to 53-man's roster. And let me spotlight the article first and thank those boys for doing all what they can do and do all what they do over there with Blogging the Boys. But they have the Dallas Cowboys 2025 53-man roster prediction pre-training camp edition, right? So with that being said, call him Hookah instead of Hooker. he was on Harry Hines, wasn't he? All right, so how many quarterbacks do we carry for the 2025 season, Cowboy Nation? Do we go with one, or do we go with two, or do we go with three? How many quarterbacks do we carry on this roster, Cowboy Nation? Put the number down if so. I got the Cowboys going with at least two quarterbacks, by the way. And that is Dak Prescott and Milton. Let me know if you guys going with all three. And the whole news with the emergency quarterback thing, I think that allows us to go with two and then still have one in reserve for the emergency quarterback ruling, which will be Will Grier, that don't implement or don't impact, that's a better way to say it, your 53-man roster. So you can literally go with two quarterbacks. Now, if you're going with three, that means you're going to go short somewhere else, right? So with that being said, Cowboy Nation, how many running backs you guys got? Because my two quarterbacks, I'm going to put them in the chat, and I thank y'all so much. And y'all can play along, right along with me, Cowboy Nation. Come on with it. And that's the let me know if, I posted it. So, So quarterbacks, 2. All right, running backs are based off of Blogging the Boys. They got the Cowboys going with 4 running backs. 4 running backs. And nothing wrong with going with 4 of them. That means that the Cowboys are literally looking at this situation and saying to everyone, all right, the 4 running backs that we have here, according to the Blogging the Boys, appreciate them. Let me pull up the running backs. They got the Cowboys going with Javonte Williams, Jadon Blue, Phil Maffa, and as well as with Hunter Lupke. So those are the 4 running backs. The Dallas Cowboys, we're gonna have it this way. We're gonna do it like this, and we're gonna continue to grind and shine. Appreciate you guys so much for your support and your love and adulation. Let me see if I can pull this up and get the AI involved. Get AI Tisha to get things moving for me and grooving for me, Cowboy Nation. I really appreciate y'all so much. Yeah, AI Tisha, how many running backs we got now? Come on with it. She gonna get it right. Yeah.
Javonte Williams, Jaden Blue, R. Phil Maffa, R. Hunter Luepke Dallas's running back position will be an interesting position battle to keep track of. Williams is the best all-round back with Blue and Maffa adding the thunder lightning element to the backfield. Luepke sticks as long as the Cowboys want to carry a full back.
Okay. So Hunter, to me, is more of a H-back. He can catch out of the backfield. He's the extension of the tight end room. So I'm cool with him. I'm cool with the ideology that the Cowboys could roll with that number there. And that's okay, Cowboy Nation. AIT shit, Ice Cold Cowboy, appreciate you, man. All right, so with that being said, the Cowboys are rocking with, according to them, 3 tight ends. They're going with Jake Ferguson, Luke Schoonmaker, Brevin Spann-Forward, and these are the 3 tight ends that they are rolling with. These guys right here, as I'm highlighting there so you guys can see on your screen. They are rolling with those 3, and that is the situation and scenario. How do y'all feel about that? How y'all feel about that? And we got the super chat. Thank you so much for your support. Sadiq, what we got?
Sidika Charles $5. Law, I will definitely be snitching on the chat room if they do not hit that thumbs up and share the video.
Indeed. Y'all better hit that. Sadiq gonna be snitching on y'all now. Hit that like.
Jake Ferguson, Luke Schoonmaker, Brevin Spann-Forward. The TE position should look much the same as it did last year, only hopefully healthier. The Cowboys could go a little deeper here if they decide not to keep Hunter Luepke.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though, Cowboy Nation. We've been hearing good stuff about Brevin Spann-Forward. Brevin Spann-Forward could be a guy that we look at and we would say to ourselves down the stretch that if he can fool around and learn how to catch the football, literally catch the football, then that could be a situation and scenario that we caught lightning in a bottle and the Cowboys done did it again. Yeah. That would be a great situation for us if Brevin Spann-Forward can showcase his talent and be like the Jimmy Grahams of the new modern day age, or who else was it? Jermichael Finley, y'all remember him back in the days. He could be just that for us, you know. But neither here nor there. Brevin Spann-Forward is a lot of people got. All right, so the next spot in the next thing that they are going with is 6 wide receivers. They're going with CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Jalen Tolbert, Kevontae Turpin, Jonathan Mingo, and Ryan Flournoy. That means that the Jalen Brooks is over. You know, the Jalen Brooks administration or Jalen administration with Tolbert and Brooks are gone, right? But Tolbert is still here. Tolbert's still fighting. So I would say this, the additions to the Pickens upgrades the Cowboys wide receiver room, but could cause them to go in a little deeper here than normal. So instead of them going with 5, they're going with 6. Tolbert playing 1-year deal. Mingo and Flo likely stick around for future purposes. Okay, so basically Tolbert, this is a contract year for Tolbert? I didn't know that. But so we might get our best version of Tolbert altogether. Now, this is where I disagree with. The Blogging the Boys got the Cowboys going with 9 offensive linemen. That is a very, very small room to go with 9 offensive linemen. You got 5 starters, of course. And then you got your extras here that could be the Awesome Richards of the world, the Brock men, Sadiq Charles, Cornelius, and as well as those are the guys. Those are the extra guys, right? Reason being is you're going to have someone playing special teams. I don't want my non-offensive linemen, those who are in goal line and all of this stuff. I don't want Tyler Smith running down there on the field. I don't want Tyler Booker, even though he's a rookie, to be out there on the field as much, as well as Terrence Steele. I think that the Cowboys would either go with 10 as the minimum or 11 offensive linemen. Now, 9 is razor blade thin there. You know, they go with 6 defense. Let me see what was there. I'm going to highlight it for you guys right there. And let the AI speak on this too. Read the highlighted part, AI Tisha. Yeah.
In Guyton, Smith, Beebe, Booker, and Steele, the Cowboys have a promising starting 5. Richards will serve as the swing OT, Hoffman as the backup CG, and Cornelius as a promising developmental talent. Charles likely sticks as a backup G as well, due to his starting experience.
So that's Sadiq Charles, the football player, not the one in the chat. Well, I think that they're going to go with extra bodies more than 9 for your mind. And I get it. Guyton, we putting a lot on Guyton's shoulders for him to be great, you know, this season. But it's going to be more. It's going to be more than 9 for your mind. All right. Defensive ends, they have Micah Parsons. They going with 6. Micah Parsons, Fowler, Nealon, Donovan Ezaraku, Sam Williams, Peyton Turner. If I'm a betting man, Peyton Turner is on thin ice right now, right? And there's a case, okay, well, I think the way he's moving and grooving, I don't think that he will start out on PUP. But AI, can you read the highlighted parts of this one on the defensive edges?
There's a chance Sam Williams could start on the PUP list.
Mm-hmm.
But if he doesn't, Matt Eberflus likes a heavy rotation at DE, hence going deep here. This is an intriguing group with a good mix of youth and veteran experience who could give opposing QBs nightmares.
No doubt. But here's my thoughts with Sam. Sam, I don't think he's going to start on PUP. I don't think he is. What is PUP? Physically unable to perform. I don't think that he's going to start off on PUP. He's already racing Micah Parsons. Did y'all see the video this week? He's already racing Micah Parsons. That means he's physically able to play. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, you know, I think that Sam Williams will not start on PUP. I think that he will be one of the guys that will be ready week 1. He's already moving around. And let me know if you guys think otherwise. But off of this list, I think that you can literally, unless, you know, every now and then you get this, hey, where did this guy come from? Unless he shows up and show out, I think you can make the sacrifice. I think you make the sacrifice on Peyton Turner and get someone else in. And maybe where you're low at on offensive lineman, you get an extra body there, right? That's just my rationale out of this particular list. All right, so they go with 4 defensive tackles. All right, so we got Osa Odigi Ozua, Solomon Thomas, Mozzie Smith, Jay Toya. So with that being said, Cowboy Nation, this is a thin defensive tackle room as well. And by them going with these boys, yes, I get it. You know, we want some veteran to come into the building. I think, and this is just my notion, that by the time training camp gets here and Matt Eberflus and the entire personnel department, they're going to look at this particular roster and they're going to say, hey, man, we need a veteran, one tech in the building. We need one. We need one. Yeah. But we have good 3 techs, though. We do.
The DT position is arguably the weak link of the Cowboys' entire roster.
Okay.
They have a good 3-tech duo in Odigizua and Thomas, but could still stand to upgrade the 1-tech position. Right now, they are betting heavily on Smith and Toya being able to hold up at the point of attack and stop the run.
There's a lot of bets, man. But Jerry Jones, I mean, he do have a Netflix documentary that can literally tell you about the gambler. You know, and that's just for what Jerry is. He's gambling real hard over here. But it's the third season for Mozzie. I've seen stranger things happens in this particular world, and hopefully this could be a situation here. But, you know, if I'm a betting man, I say Jay Toya is a guy that could turn some heads in training camp as well. I'm telling you, man, the guy got a good motor. He got a good burst get off, and he's on the bigger side. So hopefully, man, we can see how that all works out. All right, so let's look at linebackers. They go with 6 linebackers. That's a lot of linebackers, right? Boy, that's been one of our – yeah. Is it true about him or not? I'm very curious. Reynolds, about which one? You know, I need to know what end of the conversation we are on right now. Is it true about who? Tell me who are we trying to get the truth serum about, you know? And is it truth about? Okay, I'm reading up. Kenneth Walker would absolutely put us over the top. What's your thoughts, Law? Oh, okay, Kenneth Walker. We still on that? We still on that running back thing? The hardest thing to evaluate during the offseason, especially during training camp, running back room. That's one of the hardest things to evaluate. Due to the new NFL rulings and things like that, I could put you, Reynolds, in a Cowboys uniform, and you will look good out there for running backs, you know. So it's one of the hardest things to evaluate as running backs because of the new NFL ruling during training camps. You really have to wait to pad days, and then even when pad days are here, you can't really take people down, you know, and you're really not going to squeeze through A gap and B gap to smash said running back, right? So Kenneth Walker, I like what he can do. I like his skill set, but the price tag may be too high. I don't think last year his numbers were even close to even Rico's. Now, he got high potential side. I like Kenneth Walker, don't get me wrong. But it is one of those things whereas I just don't think that the Cowboys will spend any more resources at running back at this time. We are hearing that Deuce Vaughn is a little bit ahead of Jaden Blue right now. They did bring in Miles Sanders. They brought in 2 veteran running backs. Regardless of how we slice it, maybe only one of those guys going to make it. And Blogging the Boys had Miles Sanders not making his team. And you drafted 2 running backs. Draft picks are premium here in Dallas. They don't like draft picks. They love them. And you still got to see what you can get out of Dano Deuce. So there's a lot of evaluation going, and y'all know how the Cowboys feel about bastards bringing in outside people. They probably already saying, hey, we got you 2 on the outside. Now, coaches, you're going to have to coach up Hunter Lukey. You're going to have to coach up Phil Maffa. You're going to have to coach up Jadon Blue. You're going to have to coach up Dano Deuce. You're going to have to do the coaching side of it. We're not going to give you nothing else. That's just my observation on how the Cowboys rock, you know. But I could be wrong, and I would love to be wrong on this one. I would love for the Cowboys to at least bring Kenneth Walker in for a cup of coffee, but I doubt it. All right, they go with 6 linebackers with Donovan, with DeMarvion Overshawn, likely starting off the list of PUP. Linebackers is another position the Cowboys go a little heavy at, more than usual. They said Sanborn, Murray, right? Leofow will compete for the starting job with James Clark and Harrison providing depth on special teams. And 6 linebackers, that's a lot of linebackers for us. Of true linebackers, by the way. And that's good problems to have. I love seeing 6 linebackers on this team. I love it. All right, cornerbacks, they go with 6. Deron Bland, Kyer Elam, Siobhan Revo, Izzy, Kalen Carsons, Elijah Clark. All right, so they're gonna say, let me highlight this, and we're gonna let the AI read the highlighted portions of this part right here, and basically give us her thoughts on this. But here's what it said right here. Appreciate everybody for jumping in. Thank y'all so much, though, too. Yeah.
Trevon Diggs will start the season on the PUP list, probably forcing the Cowboys to go a little deep at CB. Bland will probably start in the slot with Elam and Revel starting on the outside, depending on Revel's health. Mukwamu, Carson, and Clark provide much-needed depth until Diggs returns.
It just seems as if, though, that room is just ain't really popping like I want it to pop, right? But to be fair to Kyer Elam is been off-season hero, training camp, mini camp guy, right? We hear glowing reports from him on the people that's able to see practice, right? And that's why it's necessary for me to get to Oxnard, right? But I think that most of you guys love this list because you don't see Booth in there. All right. Like, come on. We don't see Andre up in here. So we good. We good. Yeah. No more ABs, man. Not an Anthony Brown or an Andre Booth. No more ABs. I feel you. And Elijah Clark been one of those guys that, hey, he's been turning heads at practice too. So now you got Carsons, who I'm expecting to have a sophomore hype year versus a sophomore slump, right? Because normally when players do have a good year, they go into a bad year when they're rookies, right? Normally. But I hope it's the inverse for Carsons, that he had his bad moments, and then this season he give us what we paying for far as his draft stock. Yeah, we hope that we can get something back in return, right? But Bland, Elam, Revel, McCormick, Carsons, Clark, those names right there, kind of like, hey man, where Josh Butler at, man? Let's put JB out there, you know. But my thing is with Siobhan Revo is that I hope that when we look back at everything with Revel, that the gambler of Jerry Jones and all of the fun fare that he's saying, hopefully, and I mean just that Revel can be that pick that we look back on and say, man, the Cowboys are genius for having this guy. They are brilliant, you know. And the next person that's on this list, they got 4 safeties: Wilson, Malik Hooker, Marquise Bell, Wanye Thomas, and Wanye looking phenomenal out there. And Wilson and Hooker are projected to be starters, with Bell and Thomas at the backup role. Dallas can go a little short here because McCormick and Clark can be versatile at safety and as well at cornerback. So out of these 10 people, right, 6 cornerbacks, 4 safeties. Out of these 10, we will have to live with the moment of saying, who going to play that nickel spot? That's just the reality of it. We got to understand the cost, you know. Yeah. So we going to do this, man. KR, appreciate you, KR. Ranos, appreciate you. Yeah, and they got Elijah Clark as a cornerback. They saying that he can be versatile. He can play corner and safety. And then they look at the tape and maybe they gonna have him back at safety. But neither here nor there. Special teams: Brandon Aubrey, Brian Anger, Trent Siege. Those are your 3 guys. So when we look at this list, man, shout out to Blogging the Boys with all of these guys here on this list. Somebody is going to get cut. And I want to do this right now, Cowboy Nation. who is one of your hard cuts right now? You know, who's one of your hard cuts right now? Who's one of the people that you would say to yourself, hey, this is gonna be a hard cut, but we're gonna cut him off. You know, we done seen enough of them. We're gonna go ahead and cut them off and deal with something new. And a lot of us look at these. I want to say the intriguing room would be. I thought I passed it. Here we go. The cornerback room. The cornerback room is the intriguing room, because at the end of the day, the cornerback room is one of those things that maybe you can sacrifice one, stash the other, and you don't have to go as deep in on some spots and positionings. Let me make this room a little bit better. The other room where you can probably gamble with, you can probably gamble Ryan Flournoy, go small with 5 wide receivers opposed to 6. But the Cowboys normally don't rock that way to add someone else in. It's crazy. Ronald Jones, Ronald Jones, offensive line, left. I don't know. Too early to call? Yes, this is why I said way too early. Clark and Booth, you got to make your sacrifice somewhere. Yeah. You got to make your sacrifice somewhere. Yeah, so it's one of those things where you gotta figure it out. No, you're not gonna sacrifice Mozzie. You know, Mozzie. People act like Mozzie been here for 10 years. Literally, he been here for 2 seasons. 2 seasons. 2 seasons. He haven't been here forever. He only been here for 2 seasons. 2 seasons. Cut Clark out. Okay. Damone Clark or Elijah Clark. Y'all talking about Damone? You sacrifice Damone Clark, get him up out of there. I mean, you got 5 linebackers. I can see that could be a hard sacrifice, or it could be a clean cut. Somebody said, okay, let me just draw something on there. You cut Damone. Oh, wait a minute, my thing done already moved around. Hold on, let me fix this house up again. Yeah, right here. Pin it. Yeah, pin it right here. Boom. Let me see, if you cut, it don't allow me to stroll once I do this, though. That's the only thing. All right, so you sacrifice. I'm about to get out of it. Hold on. Y'all bear with me. Scroll all the way down to defense. Clean up the roster a little bit. It's way too early, though. It's too soon. You sacrifice Turner, sacrifice Clark, both Clarks. Those are 3 extra positions. Now you got a 50-man roster. You can pretty much go with 5 defensive edge rushers, and this is just us, man. Just toiling around with this. You know, I'm not saying that this will absolute happen. You can go with 5 linebackers, 5 cornerbacks. I think that the Cowboys still going to go with the ideology of keeping Clark, at least, because special teams is special teams. So what about Schoonmaker? Cut Darius. My guy Aztec states, cut Darius Harris, cut Deuce Vaughn, cut Damone Clark. And let's trade for Jalen Ramsey or bring in Gilly. I feel you, man. I feel you on all of those decisions there. They already cut Jalen Brooks based off of this blocking the boards. They cut Jalen Brooks. But this would be a fight and a battle to the end, Cowboy Nation. All right, so I know it's Saturday, man. I don't want to steal all of y'all time today. We can stay until about 4:10. Let's stay until about 4:10. And if you guys are in the Dallas area, you've been traveling and you seen a car wreck or someone ran into you, and you try to figure out who to call and these things, don't call Ghostbusters. Before you even dial 911, I want you to reach out to my people.
It starts from the first phone call. Most of the time, you're going to talk to Gene Burkett, a 30-year partner. You're not going to talk to some employee that just got put on the phones that day.
There are things that are so crucial, especially if it's a cataclysmic event, to have our experts get out and look at the vehicle, witness statements, photos, the whole thing.
Call Frenkel first.
Chosen by the
And
people,
the
feared by the insurance companies. Call
that is
Frenkel
involved.
first.
That's Frenkel and Frenkel Personal Injury Lawyers. That's 817 or 214, and all of the threes you can dial. Right? You reach out to them. They have their team of expert lawyers that can assist you, listen to your story, as long as you're not at fault. But if you have evidence that you're not, then reach out to my people, Franklin Frankel Personal Injury Lawyers. If you can't dial that number, visit frankelfirm.com. Go to the website, put in your claim, put in your offers, whatever it may be, and let's see if someone can help you out from there. Cowboy Nation, speaking to you all, my number is 657-390-7391. You like 100 grand? Come on with it. All right, the first person that's on the call is Darius. Darius, you're live on the Nation, brought to you by FrankelFirm.com, man. What's good with you?
Well, first of all, I want to say it's good to hear from you on this beautiful Saturday.
Thank
and
you.
This is not a debate. This is not a debate because I know you think I like to debate. You know, I'm gonna just ask you a question. It's just a random question. I see you staring the Kool-Aid on Eberflus.
Okay.
But I think you may be right. I think that we both may be right about Eberflus in terms of how good that I think he's going to do. But what if he don't? If he don't do well, are you going to give him a mulligan the same way that you gave Mike Zimmer and Mike Nolan, or are you going to hold him to the same standard that you did Dan Quinn?
All right. So let me break it down. Mike Nolan, I thought that it was odd for us to hire him because he wasn't doing defensive coordinations in like the last 5 or 6 years, right? And I get it. Mike McCarthy got his buddy because his buddy had gotten him before. So it was like a favor for a favor, a soul for a soul type of deal, right? And playing political football, it's a rough thing, right? He wasn't the best candidate. yeah, he wasn't the best. He wasn't like, hey, I scored all good numbers, man, and I should get this job. No. And, yeah, that 2020 year, I just gave the whole world a mulligan because 2020 was like a cuss word, right? Now, the other Mike Zimmer didn't want to rock the boat. And he's on record with that. And the only reason why we got to give Mike Zim a little grace is because we had 1,000 injuries, man, on defense, right? Right. And then my thing is Dan Quinn. I'm not going to backtalk and backbite myself with this, right? And talking out both sides of my neck. I think that Dan Quinn is an ultra communicative guy, right? He communicates really well. Right. I can't talk today. Yep. And I think that he was brilliant. I think he was a brilliant piece for us to hire him, right? And to me, Dan Quinn was the elixir that we needed. We needed energy. We needed a change of scenery with coaching, and he brought all of that in. The problem is that you can't have two masters, right? And the Cowboys originally, Stephen Jones wanted Dan Quinn here opposed to Mike McCarthy or whoever else they interviewed. But Dan Quinn, the Falcons, they never fired him. They brought him back for that extra season. You remember, right? And Mike McCarthy beat Dan Quinn with the watermelon thing, the watermelon kick or what have you, you know. So on a roundabout way, Matt Eberflus, I know it's a long response, bro. It's long, bro. Longer than Jay Leno's chin. Cool. But my response with Matt Eberflus is that everywhere he's been, according to his resume, he's been finishing or totaling out on top 10 defenses.
Top 10.
Yeah, top 10. And his calling card is technique, and he's a damn good linebacker, right? So his linebacker room increased, and one of the areas that we have very much issues with since Dan Quinn or Mike Nolan to a degree, been linebacker room. We've been razor blade thin at that spot, right? So now we got somebody that's what he do. He coaches linebackers, and he pride himself on stopping the run. So we will see. I think that the defense is better just by bringing him into the building, though.
So you saying you gonna hold him to the same standard as Dan Quinn? What you saying?
I will hold him to the standard that I held Dan Quinn to. Right.
Okay.
Right. I'll hold him. Yeah.
So now, I got a two-parter. So, do you think Eberflus wants to be a career defensive coordinator with the Cowboys, or do you think he wants to be a head coach? And at the same token, once he does do as well as we both think that he will, you do realize what that comes with. That comes with other teams trying to poach him. Once we make it to the playoffs, he's going to be distracted.
He'll be distracted. I mean, I tried to use that argument, right? But the Eagles, they are on there 3 different offensive coordinators in 3 years. They own 2 different defensive coordinators in the last 3 years too. So even though Vic Fangio's back to back is their DC now, they played the musical chairs with coaching, right? But it's also a finite responsibility that this particular coach know where he's at and feel comfortable. They say be where your feet at. So I would give Matt Eberflus at least 3 seasons here. I think that's what he would at least want as well. Remember, he had other offers to be DCs elsewhere. On top of that, he looked at it like, man, I needed to do a reset anyway. He felt – I got a chance to talk to him this offseason too when I was at the Micah Parsons deal. And he said out of his mouth to everybody, to my ears, he was like, yeah, if I can just take back one play, that would be the play against Washington that allowed that young kid, Jaden Daniels, to throw that damn Hail Mary, right? And he said he called that defense wrong. He called that play wrong. Even though the guy was arguing with one of the fans there, he said that it was his responsibility to call better plays. It was his responsibility to be better with time management, and that being a head coach, it clouds him because he got so many responsibilities that he glad that he's back in Dallas now with the great reset button to just only focus on defense. And I think that that's his calling card. It's just defense. I don't think that he's a good head coach.
Yeah, I felt the exact same way. Now, in closing, you had put up a picture of what's my guy name? Brian Schottenheimer, and he was walking through warm-ups, and it was just a straight snapshot, and he just looked like a war general amongst the soldiers. I love that snapshot, man. Overall, what I'm gonna say is I think that we make it to the NFC Championship with Brian Schottenheimer this year, and I think that next year we make it to the Super Bowl. You heard it here first. I'm gonna holler at you, Law.
No doubt, man. Let's get it, man. Hey, small steps, man. Tiny steps. That's most important things, man. You know, we can't conquer everything in one day, right? So 1% better, right? Start over, be 1% better than what you were previously. All coordinators definitely wants to be coaches, right? Unless they've been there before, right? Like, for example, Spags, we may have a situation like the Chiefs or like the Eagles to a degree with Vic Fangio. He should be a head coach, right? But no, coaching defense is his DNA. Spags the same way over there in Chiefland. This man had opportunities, multiple opportunities to be a head coach, was a head coach, but realized, man, my biggest bag is when I'm just doing what I do best, and that's DC, defensive coordinator. The Chiefs arguably been a top 5 defensive team in the last 4 or 5 years. Nobody talks about it because Pat Mahomes shining, and he overglows that whole situation. But they literally got 2 head coaches over there, and a war general out of Pat Mahomes, to use Darius' words right there. We can be having that right there. Now, the unknown is, of course, Shotty, right? He never coached before in this capacity. But when you've been the apprentice for so long, or when you've been the person that got a chance to walk with greatness, right? Got a chance to be the understudy. 9 times out of 10, you know more, you have accomplished from a mindset more than the person that is the head coach. Let me bring it in a biblical connotation to this. You know, the structure of the word would say, greater works will you do. Meaning that if you are in the presence with me, right, greater will you become, because you get a chance to see me operate. You get a chance to see my power. You get a chance to see my will. You get a chance to see my authority, right? I'm not this sheep. But most people like to put those categories on people when they walk in and they in a certain group. Lord, where you going at with this storyline? Peter, one of the disciples that walked with the Messiah, or walked with the Creator's Son, however you want to say it, right? Yahshua, or, Elohim, all of those names, you add them all to one, bread of life. He became to a point that his anointing was so great, his power was so great, that his shadow was healing folks. Don't y'all know how great of a power that is, that his shadow was able to heal folks? They didn't have to touch him. They didn't have to run over and touch the hem of his garment. They just have to get a tip of the shadow and they will be healed, right? So, not saying that the Creator's Son couldn't do it, but he did lament the fact that greater works will you do. Now, I'm not saying that Schottenheimer is going to be this guy that can walk on water, turn water to wine. His shadow's going to heal folks. He's going to be able to make the blind see and all of this stuff. But by him being the understudy for all of those years, he got the greatest opportunity to pull a little bit of expertise from here and pull a little expertise from there and combine it all together. And then you sit back and say to yourself, oh my, we got us a real dog now, as a coach, and that can personally get on the level with these guys and know their daughter's name, the dog name. Oh, I said dog again. George. I was just, George, don't get mad. George, down, George, down, George, down. Every time I mention dog, George get jealous. But I got from the 901, you're live on the nation. Talk to me.
Y'all can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, fam. You're loud and clear on my end.
This Robert Simmons out here up in Memphis, Tennessee, and I want to kind of talk about this this 53-man roster. First, I want to talk about is the running back room is. I think we should bring in another running back because I'm not very comfortable in our run game right now. Right. And another thing I want to say is I'm trying to see how we only heard good things from Miles Sanders. And for some reason, he does not make the roster at all. But we haven't heard nothing from Williams or too much from Jadon Blue. But we heard a lot from Miles Sanders, but he still don't make the roster at all. I'm trying to see what's up with that.
Well, like around this time last season, we had Royce Freeman. You haven't heard, or you didn't hear not one negative word about Royce Freeman, right? And then Ronald Jones, you remember that story. We had the Ronald Jones administration. We had, even to a degree, bringing back Ezekiel Elliott. We didn't hear storylines during this time frame of these guys being good, bad, or indifferent, right? So sometimes, and this is just a projection, right, from Blogging the Boys, it could be Miles Sanders come here and he just takes it away, right? But when you have only room for so many players, Do you go with 5 running backs? Do you go with 6 running backs? Because right now, the Block and the Boys, they got Javonte Williams, Jadon Blue, Phil Maffa, and Hunter Lupke. That means that Deuce Vaughn not making his team, right? You know, Miles Sanders not making his team, and Nate Pete, he's somewhere, you know, watching somebody's feet, you know, right now. So I don't know, you know, when you look at the running back room, would you rather have Miles Sanders over Phil Maffa? You know what I'm saying? Or Miles Sanders over Jadon Blue? I don't think that they go with 5 or 6 running backs.
Yeah.
Now to be fair, I take that back though, my guy. You know why? The Cowboys went with 6 running backs, I believe, or 7 in 2016.
Yeah, they did.
They went with a lot of running backs. Let me see if I can get that correct number of running backs they went with. So I don't know, man. It's just, but you're going to have to go short somewhere. You're going to have to go short somewhere.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I would have just really go to the better man was out there, or better man out there, but I mean that's how they want to do it. This is the part of that we like our guys' philosophy, and I also see a fan with that same thing who's saying that we don't need another running back. Sure, I don't feel confident in this running back room at all. I think we at least need at least one more running back. I'm not just gonna hype up some of these rookies like Jadon Blue who had a plumbing problem in college and then I even hit 1,000 yards at all. And I had never too much watched Phil Maffa tapes at all. So I'm not just gonna hype until I actually see some on the field and stuff. And with the cornerback rooms, I would actually keep Elijah Carr and just put him on the practice squad when Trayvon Diggs come back and about that. And with the linebacker room, I would probably cut Damone Claw and Darius Harris and Darius Harris. We're gonna run with 4 linebackers till DeMar Overshown's come back.
Until DeMar Overshown come back. I feel you on that.
Yeah.
I feel you on that, man. It's always a tricky one, right? So if you bring in, before I let you go, bro, if you bring in another running back, who you letting go?
Who I let go on there? I'll probably just put a running back on the practice squad. One of the rookies running back on the practice squad, like Phil Maffa. We do bring in another running back. I just don't feel confident in our running back room at all. That's why I think our Rickens need gonna be on offense, where we got to put everything into Dick's hands with no running game at all.
Well,
that's like with another person saying like Bull will win offensive rookie of the year. I don't see that at all.
Yeah,
somebody he's trying to run the back one. I don't see that at all.
The only reason why it's so difficult for all of this, you won't get a real evaluation of running backs until week 1 of the preseason, and then that's really, fluff there, because of the simple fact teams are not scheming, or they're not, trying to win that game. They're just trying to evaluate players. So you can get overanalyzed to that degree. You get what I'm saying? You can get overanalyzed to that point, and it can be difficult for us to even consider bringing in another running back outside of like a positioning like a cornerback or a wide receiver to a degree, defensive tackle. You get what I'm saying? So it's just what it is.
I think we still need a cornerback and defensive tackle, because somebody that can help Miles Smith out and the other person that can to come in to help out to Trayvon Diggs and Simone Rever to get help and stuff before they come back, because of how they doing. They trying to also rush Simone Rever back and stuff in.
Yeah, they're gonna have to.
I don't think that's a good idea. This guy is a China corner, and it's something. This is a time we do not need to waste it all. We like literally need to do the right thing.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you for calling in, man. Let me hear you say it, bro.
How about them Cowboys?
How about him, man? That's my guy from the 901, man. That's that Tennessee, you know. Tennessee, baby. All right. My brother from another mother. Oh, hold on. Before I let MJ on, Cowboy Nation. It's early projections, right? Like, there could be somebody right now that can win the crowd. We know how the Cowboys roll, baby. You got to win the crowd. And the Cowboys could be doing just that this training camp. They can be doing that. You know, somebody can come out of nowhere and be like, hey, or the Cowboys are not done. They can fool around and trade for somebody or pick up somebody that's going to be released. Think about this. There are about, let me see. Let me pull up my math. 90 players per team right now. 90 players per team. There's 32 teams, right? 32 teams in the National Football League. That's 2,880 players, right? So with that being said, there's 2,880 players that's available right now in the National Football League. So when you talking about 90 minus 53, which is 37, and we do 37 times 32, right? 37 times 32, come on, 1,184 players. When teams got to get there from 90 players to 53, there's 37 players per team. So out of 1,184 players, Cowboy Nation, you mean to tell me that one of these guys may not be a veteran guy at defensive tackle? You mean to tell me one of these guys may not, it's going to be some hard cuts because another team done drafted their version of a Parsons or their version of a Solomon Thomas or whatever it may be? They drafted somebody that can be a difference maker for them, that they're going to cut a veteran guy or they're going to waive a guy to hope to sneak him on the practice squad. We just have to be alert. So this team, by the time teams cut or trim their fat, we should find us an extra defensive tackle or cornerback. Safety to that degree. Playmaker. I wouldn't leave out wide receivers. You know, crazy things can happen, right? Tight end. Crazy things can happen. All right, I got my guy from the 206 MJU in the mix. Talk to me, man.
What up, Law? How you doing,
man? Bro? All is well. I can't complain, bro.
Yeah. Shalom. Happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath day to you, bro.
Yeah, I'm just chilling. Hey, but I don't agree with that guy with the halfback because you got to wait and see, man.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult.
There's so many players gonna be cut. So 1,000 players gonna get cut. It's you know what I'm saying, for all the positions. Just wait and be patient, man. You guys don't know. They don't know how to be obedient. It's because Cowboy Nation, they want everything. You can't do that, man. Because I'm gonna tell you something. You're gonna end up doing a foolish thing like remember Ward, Chevy's Ward, y'all. When we got rid of him and didn't become an all-pro for the 49ers, you guys better chill out.
Yeah. I mean, just for example, the Deuce Vaughn storyline, right? Like we all know that nobody looked good until like the latter part last season, right? It was just one of those things, man. And I'm not here to campaign for Deuce, but I got to at least now see what he looks like with this administration. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know the potential's there, right? We've seen it. We only had sample sizes of Deuce Vaughn being able to be out there on the field. But if it's a situation in a scenario that the Cowboys can bring Deuce Vaughn in and he perform fantastic and all of this good stuff, then that's a plus for us. But we have to wait and see. Ain't nothing that's going to be cookie cutter to a point whereas we don't have to say that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like you said, yeah, cause I'm gonna say with that new run scheme, man, you might have a jail. Everybody thinking, we talk about people. We don't give him a chance. Y'all think he's a bum. And I'm gonna tell y'all again. I don't know what y'all thinking of. I was at the camp. You guys wasn't at the camp. Rodgers outplayed Mozzie. I'm gonna tell y'all again. Big Rodgers, 338 pounds, couldn't get moved, was better skill than Mozzie, and y'all and then the guy got pissed, and then when Cincinnati got him, and then the Cowboys thought, we need to go get back and get him. I'm gonna tell you something. It do got something to do with favoritism. You don't know who you got. Look how you got rid of the big white boy. Then you got big. We had a lot of big D tackles, and the Cowboys never get these young boys a chance to play. Then y'all go get these old dudes that get ran over. You know what I'm saying, Law?
But here's the thing, though. Two things can be true. The problem is that when we did had Dan Quinn here, he never valued defensive tackles.
D tackle.
He never valued. So it goes back to a conundrum. Like the moment when we brought in Big Bohanna, the moment that we had the Razorback kid, I forgot his name. They call him the White Gorilla. The moment that we went and got those pieces, it didn't mean a hill of beans because that's not his forte. That's not his coaching prowess. That's not his coaching. So I can't beat up that part of it because at the end of the day, like Mike Zinn, when he came into this building, he was like, man, it's 12-5, 12-5, 12-5. I'm not here to change up anything or rock the boat. And that's why it looked that way. And we really can't say much about the defense last season because you're missing your edge rusher. You missing, you had so many injuries, man. It's just crazy. So that's why I say you got to give Matt Eberflus some time. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to give him a chance because, and I watched this. I like how he talked yesterday with his interview. Did you see that interview?
Yeah.
In his interview, said this man is on point. And he's confident. I don't know if you Cowboy fan, but he don't look worried to me. If he ain't worried, why the hell I'm worried? Y'all acting like y'all. Let's see what he do. Law gonna give you everybody on here. Law Nation gonna give y'all the scoop who getting their butt whooped in that camp. He ain't gonna lie to you. So let's wait till July, and then y'all gonna see because they playing against the Rams when they do that scrimmage out there. Law gonna be there, and they playing against San Diego in that scrimmage, in Oxnard. And he gonna tell you who getting their butt ran though.
Mm-hmm. All right, but man, I appreciate you, man. What else you got before I let you go?
Oh man, just enjoying the day to the Sabbath. Just relax. This is a day of rest, and salute to all the people. And I have to crack one joke now. I'm still laughing. No disrespect to nobody on here. Don't take this the wrong way. But my Cuban brothers, y'all sung that song.
Cuban
I'm gonna vote for Donald Trump. And you got everybody kicked out of the country. Unbelievable.
Wait. I'm lost in translation now. Now, what happened now at the end? What'd you say?
By them, with that foolishness, didn't let that lady win. I don't.
Oh,
I hate
okay.
both parties.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, political Marv.
You never saw that Cuban song?
No.
I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. And everybody and their mama getting kicked out of the country.
Well, I mean, it is for what it is, man.
It is what it is.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for calling.
How about them Cowboys and Law Nation? I'm going to see you in the camp, brother. Good show.
No doubt, man. Good call from my guy, Marv, man. Political Marv. Yes, indeed. Or whatever point that he was making with that. I appreciate him. It's country, man. We got riots everywhere and people throwing this and that. But at the end of the day, man, the day go in, as they say. But Cowboy Nation, don't fret. Don't be alarmed or spooked about anything for political situations. Politics gonna be here. It's gonna be when the end times come here, it'll still be somebody voting, over this versus that. That's just how it goes, man. Everything is political. Political science, political law, it's literally the fastest growing thing on these social networks is politics, man. And you're going to always have, it's crazy how there's going to be people always forcing you to pick a side. Like, no, there's some things that I agree that's conservative. There's some things that I agree that's moderate. There are some things that I would say no. But politics have always been around, It's been around and it's going to stay here. And it's just for what it is. But at the end of the day, the Cowboys, this political machine is why we are here, right? And there will be people that will say that, hey, vote for the Washington team to be America's team. There will be people that say, hey, vote for the Giants to be America's team. There will be people all around that will also say, vote for the Eagles to be America's team. But there's one vote that you don't have to put out there to say. It's the absolute utmost truth. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. So ask not what the Cowboys can do for you, but what we can do for the boys. And that is, be proud to be a Cowboy. Stand tall with us. Fight with us. Because everybody is going to give us their best shot because of the presence and the aura that we exhibit and exude from day to day. And that's right, Verdi. And that's right, Bernard, Sadiq, Wood, I see you in the chat. So every day we're going to get people best. So we're going to stand tall with it. I get it. There's people in this country protesting about this country with another country's flag. I can't make this stuff up. There's people within the confines of the Cowboys protesting about the Cowboys, but with another team material on their bodies. The 3-letter, the 4-letter network, they embody and they do this every single time, Cowboy Nation. They wish to destroy us because they not us. They tried to take things away from the glory of the Dallas Cowboys, the 5-time Super Bowl champs. They old, them old relics. They try to water us down. They try to dim the lights of the stars. They spit upon us. But I come out here to tell y'all, as braggadocious as possible, as boldly as possible, as proud as possible. And when I bring it in proud, I ain't talking about the pride of the rainbows. I'm talking about we need to embrace the pride and the proud of being a Cowboy. Silver and blue. We ain't going nowhere. We locked in. We don't die, we multiply type of talk. And when it's time for us to catch a cloud or transcend, be sure to leave the star behind. Write this down, Cowboy Nation. Mama said there'll be days literally just like this. On this beautiful, glorious day. Tell them.
This is where we hold them.
This is where we fight.
This is where we fight. Spartans, prepare for glory.
I ask you, David, Jay Fuller, Bernard, Sadiq, Ice Cold Cowboy, Alfred, Sean Day, Key Air, I hope I said your name right, Gut Bomber. I ask you this.
Spartans, what is your profession?
How bad do you want it? How bad do you need it? And when you get it, how bad you gonna keep it? If you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep, if all of your desires of it makes you quite mad that you don't get tired, and it makes you hold everything tawdry and cheap, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you will gladly go out there and sweat for it, fret for it, or plan for it, or lose all terror of your mind for it, if you would simply, just simply go after the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength, sagacity, with faith, hope, confidence, and stern pertinacity. If neither cold, poverty, or the famish of fame, sickness of body or brain can turn you away from the things you want, if dogged and grim and besieged and beset, with the help of Almighty, Cowboy Nation, and everyone and anyone that's listening, you will get it. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Go Cowboys. I love that part. Yeah. Tell them run it up, baby.
They can come closer than close. Yeah.
I wake up,
Law
down that
Nation.
no drip this. Tell 'em run it
Until
up.
next time,
No
baby.
sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck, but first I
Keep
tell 'em
fighting,
run
baby.
it up.
Keep fighting.
I wake up,
Law.
down that no drip this. Tell 'em run it up.
Come on with it. Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers out there.
But first I
Stretch.
tell 'em run it up.
Shout out to you, Jack A, Stephen Carroll. Thank you for the support. Last but not least, Sadiq Charles. Come on.
The first one in, the last one out.
Call me lazy.
Put in my hours, send the invoice, and they pay me.
I need
6 rings like MJ.
Law Nation, baby. BTA in the chat.
I wake up,
Yeah.
thumb down that
Come on.
no drip this.
Tell them.
Run it up.
All right.
No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, thumb down that no drip this. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. Y'all gon' make me take that trip way out to Europe. I call up Nigeria, come through in a hurry. Those London boys don't come to play, you should get worried. One false move, find yourself, they getting buried. Dance with the devil, used to love playing those games. Made some bad decisions that brought my mama pain. I made a promise to her, swore that I would change. I'm on the come up, bet I live up to my name. I wake up,
Law
thumb down that
Nation.
no drip this.
Tell them run it up.
No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I
stretch.
Tell 'em run it up.
Until next time, baby. DC for life, not for short. We about.
Tell 'em run it up. Tell 'em run it up.
Sacrifice.
boys, don't give up the fight. Everything will be all right on any given Sunday, yeah. Depend on you if you win or lose. You know you got to pay some dues to live on Monday.